What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Alex Pereira is facing a wave of backlash online after a sparring clip surfaced showing him knocking out a training partner during an intense session. The footage, which quickly spread across social media, shows Pereira applying heavy pressure, landing several hard shots, and eventually dropping his partner cold with his signature left hook right on the chin. As the clip plays, people around them can be heard reacting in shock, wondering why anyone is surprised when Alex unleashes that kind of power. However, many fans were not impressed at all. Instead of praising the highlight, a lot of viewers criticized the situation, saying Pereira went too hard and that his sparring partner looked defenseless. One fan wrote that knocking out a sparring partner is trashy, and recording and posting it is even worse. They added that while they love Alex, sharing something like that feels unnecessary, especially when people constantly criticize fighters like Sean Strickland for going too hard in sparring. Another fan echoed the same sentiment, saying Alex should be better than this, and questioning whether what happened in the video could even be considered sparring anymore. They asked why Alex was doing something like that, and why it was recorded in the first place. The backlash didn't stop there. People online continued questioning the purpose of going full power on someone who clearly wasn't prepared for that level of intensity. Some argued that sparring is meant for learning and improving, not for knocking someone out and posting it for millions to see. The reaction shows that fans expect more responsibility from elite fighters, especially ones with the level of power Pereira carries in his hands. In addition to that session, Pereira was also seen sparring with 6'7" heavyweight Robust Despa, and the two were trading massive shots back and forth. That exchange drew far less criticism, with fans noting that both men looked prepared for a hard round and were going at a more equal level. Still, the earlier knockout clip has definitely sparked debate about how hard is too hard when it comes to training, and whether superstars like Pereira should be setting a different kind of example inside the gym. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Merab Dvalishvili opened up about why he doesn't like Umar Nurmagomedov ahead of his rematch against Petr next weekend. Merab explained that the main issue for him was a lack of respect. He said that Umar, or someone tweeting on his behalf, called him a fake champion on social media. Merab emphasized that he knew it wasn't Ali Abdelaziz, because Ali personally reached out to him, and Merab made it clear that the tweet wasn't helpful in any way. He questioned what kind of man allows someone else to speak for him in a way that disrespects another fighter. Merab pointed out that he may not speak perfect English, but when he posts on Twitter, he ensures that his words are always his own. He sometimes asks an assistant, friend, or translator to help with the wording, but it's always his voice and his message. He said he would never let a manager, friend, or family member post words that aren't his. That's why the disrespect coming from Umar's tweets upset him so much, especially being labeled a fake champion. Merab explained that his anger wasn't about the fight itself or the possibility of losing, because he understands that one punch can change everything. What mattered most to him was the lack of respect shown to him as a champion. He emphasized that earning the title and getting to this level requires hard work, dedication, and skill. He believes that anyone competing for a championship should respect the fighter they aim to defeat. Defeating a champion should never come at the expense of basic respect. Merab said that this lack of respect is what frustrated him the most, and it's something he cannot overlook. He called out the excuses being made now and made it clear that he's done with Umar's behavior. For Merab, the focus remains on the fight, but the principle of respect is non-negotiable. He concluded by saying that the most important thing is that he earned his position. He is the champion, and he expects that to be acknowledged before anything else. His patience with Umar's behavior has run out, and he is moving forward with full focus on the upcoming rematch. Moving on to another news, yesterday, the official UFC Brazil X account briefly set the MMA world buzzing when it posted that Max Holloway would be fighting Charles Oliveira for the BMF title at UFC 324. The announcement looked legitimate and instantly grabbed attention, but the post was quickly deleted, leaving fans unsure whether it was an accidental leak or simply a scheduling mistake. Even with the confusion, the idea of Holloway stepping in for another high-stakes fight fired up conversations across the community, especially considering how active and ambitious he has been since claiming the BMF belt. As the news circulated, Arman reacted almost immediately. In an interview with ESPN, he made it clear that if Holloway is truly in play for the division, then he wants that fight. Arman explained that for him, this is all business, and he isn't backing down from anyone. He said that he shares the same goal as every top contender, and he believes he can beat every fighter lined up in front of him. According to him, it's only a matter of time before he proves that on the biggest stage. Arman went on to say that if the UFC is planning to move the BMF title into the mix, then he deserves a legitimate shot at it. He emphasized that he's earned his place and questioned what else the promotion could possibly offer him if not a matchup with Holloway. He pointed out that in his own division, there aren't many compelling options left, at least not ones that match his momentum, and facing Holloway would be the type of challenge that motivates him. With the deleted announcement creating uncertainty, fans are now watching closely to see how the situation develops, and whether Arman's push for the BMF opportunity gains traction as the matchmaking picture becomes clearer. Moving on to another news, Kamaru Usman has officially started his training camp for his next fight. The former champion is pushing hard as he sets his sights on a potential title shot against the newly crowned king, Islam. Both fighters have already shown interest in making this matchup happen, and the anticipation around it continues to grow. Usman shared a short clip from his early preparations, giving fans a look at the intense work he's putting in. Even though nothing has been confirmed, his focus and pace suggest he's treating this as the beginning of a serious championship push. He's sharpening his conditioning, tightening his technique, and getting himself mentally locked in for what could be one of the biggest fights of his career. With Islam holding the belt and Usman hungry for another run at gold, this matchup is building momentum quickly, and Usman appears fully committed to making it a reality. Moving on to another news, Renato Moicano is clearly frustrated with Paddy Pimblett receiving a title shot. In a recent interview with Stand Me Up, Moicano didn't hold back, breaking down what he sees as the flaws in Paddy's resume. He pointed out that Paddy hasn't beaten anyone truly ranked in the top 15, highlighting victories over Michael Chandler coming off 4 or 5 losses, Tony Ferguson with 8 losses, and Bobby Green after 3 losses. According to Moicano, while Paddy has been given an opportunity, he hasn't proven himself against the elite competition in the division. Moicano went on to criticize the UFC's decision-making, suggesting that the promotion is more focused on marketing than merit. He said that by giving Justin Gaethje a fight against Paddy, the UFC is solving 2 problems at once. They placate Gaethje, who had threatened to retire if he didn't get a title shot, and at the same time, they build hype around Paddy, creating a spectacle for fans. On top of that, Moicano noted that putting an interim belt on the line is more about promotion than a legitimate championship, saying that it isn't a real belt in the sense of true competitive accomplishment. Throughout the interview, Moicano made it clear that he believes the decision undermines the integrity of the division. While Paddy's star power is undeniable, Moicano emphasized that performance and achievements against top-ranked opponents should still be the main criteria for title opportunities. He feels that the hype and marketing angle have taken precedence, leaving genuine contenders feeling overlooked despite their proven records. The comments reflect a growing frustration among fighters who see the business side of the sport sometimes outweighing competitive merit. Moving on to another news, following his knockout loss to Michael Morales, Sean Brady has started openly considering a move down to the lightweight division. On the newest episode of his podcast, he went deeper into that idea and broke down the matchups that make the most sense for him if he really decides to cut to 155. He said that if he's being realistic and not immediately aiming at the top 5, there are several names that interest him. He mentioned Dan Hooker, who recently lost to Arman, calling that a possible matchup. He also listed Mateusz Gamrot, Benoit Saint-Denis, and Moicano as strong options inside the top 10. Then there are fighters like Beneil Dariush, Mauricio Ruffi, and Ignacio Bahamondes, all of whom he sees as compelling fights. During the discussion, he was asked if he would be considered a big lightweight. Brady didn't hesitate, saying he would absolutely be huge for 155. He explained that plenty of fighters in that division cut massive amounts of weight, so he wouldn't be alone. He pointed out that Paddy cuts from around 200 pounds, and that he personally knows lightweights who walk around at 190 before dropping to 155. He admitted it's brutal, but he also said it's doable with the right preparation. Brady went on to explain his own recent weight cuts to show why he believes the move is possible. He said that on fight week, he got down to weight on Thursday morning after hitting the sauna, then rehydrated back to around 174. Later that same night, after going back to the gym, he returned to the sauna and managed to get his weight down to 168 in about an hour. He acknowledged that cutting to 155 would be extremely tough, but he still thinks he can make it happen. He emphasized that part of his motivation is not wanting to look back at the end of his career, wondering whether he should have tried moving down. He said it might work out or it might not, but he at least wants to test it and see what happens. For now, he's treating it as a trial run, not a guaranteed move. But he did make one thing clear. All of this talk about lightweight goes out the window if the UFC gives him a strong matchup at 170. If the right opportunity at welterweight comes along, he's staying put. Moving on to another news. Dominic Cruz didn't hold back when talking about Henry Cejudo, saying he believes Henry is broke and that money is the only reason he's still fighting. With Henry set to face Peyton Talbot at UFC 323 next weekend, Cruz shared his thoughts during an interview with MMA Junkie. He said that after their fight, Henry basically stepped away, while Cruz went on to fight 2 more times and was open to a rematch. According to Cruz, Henry didn't come back because he wanted competition, but because he ran out of money. In his words, he gets broke, and that's likely why he's fighting again. Cruz also gave his breakdown of the matchup. He acknowledged that Talbot is dangerous and a legitimate threat, but believes Henry has the tools to beat him if he decides to use them. Cruz said that if Henry mixes in his wrestling and commits to it the way Merab does, he would have a great chance of controlling Talbot for 3 rounds. He emphasized that Henry absolutely has the skill to shut Talbot down with pure wrestling if he sticks to a disciplined game plan. However, Cruz isn't convinced Henry will approach the fight that way. He pointed out that in recent performances, Henry has been leaning more towards striking and trying to stand with opponents rather than relying heavily on his wrestling. Cruz said that if Henry chooses to strike for most of the fight, Talbot will create serious problems for him. The danger, he explained, comes from Talbot's speed, power, and ability to keep the fight in his range if Henry doesn't force him to wrestle. Cruz made it clear that the matchup really comes down to Henry's choices. If he wrestles consistently, he believes Henry can dominate and take the fight cleanly on the scorecards. But if Henry tries to stand and trade, Cruz thinks Talbot has the advantage and will make the fight far more difficult for him. Moving on to another news. Sean Brady did not hold back when discussing the current title picture, especially when it comes to Kamaru Usman. Speaking on the Brady Bag Show, Brady said he believes Usman is the least deserving contender in the entire conversation for a title shot. He pushed back hard against the idea that Usman should be anywhere near the front of the line, and called out what he feels is a manufactured push coming from behind the scenes. According to Brady, both Islam and Usman share the same manager, and that connection seems to be playing a major role in why the matchup is being floated so heavily. Brady explained that when he looks at the division, there is simply no way he sees Usman as the next rightful challenger. He said he doesn't understand how anyone is trying to finagle Usman back into the title picture when there are far more deserving fighters actively competing and climbing the rankings. He pointed out that the friendship and management ties between Islam and Usman make the push for the fight feel more like a business move than a merit-based decision. To him, it just doesn't make sense. He argued that the most deserving contender is Michael Morales, the undefeated prospect who beat him at UFC 322. Brady emphasized that Morales is 19-0 and that beating him while he was the #1 contender should put Morales at the very top of the list. Brady said that, without question, Morales should be the next man in line for the belt. He added that another name who could reasonably be ahead of Usman is Protest, who Brady feels has also earned his spot through consistent activity and strong performances. Brady pushed back on Shavkat as well, saying Shavkat doesn't deserve a title shot at the moment because he needs to get back in the mix, stay active, and work his way forward like everyone else. According to Brady, nobody should be sitting on the sidelines and expecting a title fight to fall into their lap while others are grinding through contenders. When asked about where Ian might move with a win, Brady said he doesn't think Ian would jump all the way into the top spot, especially not over someone like Bilal. He predicted that Morales would likely move up to #2, while Ian would probably slide into the 3 or 4 position. Brady also clarified that rankings don't always shift exactly based on head-to-head wins. Beating someone doesn't automatically mean you take their number. there's always a bit more nuance, and he expects the rankings to reflect that once everything settles. Moving on to another news, Arman reveals he knew about the UFC's plans months before everything became public. Speaking with Brett Okamoto of ESPN MMA, Arman explained that he wasn't surprised at all that he didn't receive the title shot. According to him, the UFC told him almost 4 months ago that they planned to give Paddy Pimblett the title opportunity, strictly because it was the bigger money fight compared to him facing Ilya or Justin Gaethje. Arman said he already knew Paddy was going to fight Ilya in January, but what he didn't know back then was that the UFC would line up an interim title fight between Gaethje and Paddy. He explained that the UFC had already set everything in motion long before any of these announcements were made. He added that Ilya not fighting earlier wasn't about family matters or personal issues, and in his view, it was part of the UFC's bigger promotional plan. Arman believes the UFC wanted to build Paddy into a major star by giving him the opportunity to fight for the title against Ilya, who carries a bigger name and brings more attention. Arman said even managers were aware of this direction, and that he had been told months ago to stay ready because this was the UFC's direction. He believes the UFC knows he can beat everyone in the division, and that's exactly why he wasn't given the title shot. Despite being passed over, Arman remains fully confident that he will eventually face Ilya. He said that unless Ilya retires, the fight is guaranteed to happen, and his goal is to beat him convincingly. Speaking about the slap incident from their past interaction, Arman said Ilya only made himself look bad, and that the reaction from fans proves it. According to him, people are laughing at Ilya, not at him, and the moment reflected poorly on Ilya's character rather than damaging Arman's reputation. Arman also sent a message to Justin Gaethje, offering to help him prepare for his fight with Paddy. He said that if Justin needs him, he's willing to fly out and assist with training because he genuinely wants to see Gaethje win. Arman made it clear that he strongly dislikes Paddy, calling him someone he can't stand. He emphasized that he hopes Justin stays disciplined, avoids partying, focuses fully on training, and treats this as the last big opportunity of his career. Arman believes that with proper dedication, Justin can beat Paddy and derail the UFC's promotional plans.